Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Star Control 2, the Ur-quan Masters. And technically this version is only called the Ur-quan Masters, I found out. Star Control is apparently a trademark. So even though the source code was made available, they can't use the trademarked term. So it's only the Ur-quan Masters, but it's the same game, really. So what we're going to do, we'll look at the star map here. That's kind of odd. It seems like the Korra and the Ur-quan are like moving around a bit. We're going to kind of go up northeast here. And there should be two different races that we can meet. And we're going to go ahead and do that. We're just going to kind of see what happens. I don't think they're hostile. I don't think we'll have to fight them. But we're going to go ahead and try that. So like I said, we were running out of fuel. We did that on purpose. Because...
Welcome back, Captain. You are our favorite customer. Now, what can we do for you today?
Okay, so apparently this is what I was looking for, but he doesn't say anything unique. He doesn't be like, "Oh, dumbass, why are you sitting here with no fuel?"
What
we have some stuff
would
to sell.
you like to sell, Captain?
I have some data on alien life forms.
The 1,113.5 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 2,217 credits.
Well, that's quite a bit. Let's make some
What
purchases.
items would you like to buy today?
Yeah, so we've already bought everything you can do except for
How
fuel.
much fuel do you wish to purchase?
Fill my tank to maximum capacity.
Fuel transferred to your vessel.
And that's it. So if you run out of fuel, as long as you have credits, and obviously I have quite a few of them,
It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
So once you've gotten everything purchased and you have those extra credits, you can basically just, unless you really want to go back. Oh wow. That's weird. I guess it really does just move around there, like, I guess because they're, fighting, and that's supposed to represent them fighting, their spheres of influence has changed a little bit. Anywho, we're going to continue doing what we were just doing. But the way they keep moving like that makes it seem like the Kurtza are winning, except they shouldn't be. Remember from the previous video, the Shofixti blew up their star, and kind of did a number on, let's see here, did a number on the Kurtza ship. So yeah, they keep moving. I don't know if that's a bug or what. Anyway, I'm not gonna worry too hard about it. Just kind of go in here and see what we have. See if there's any ships to talk to. And there are. We're going to go ahead and save. Just in case something goes pear-shaped. I have not talked to these guys before, so I don't know what's going to happen. We're pretty much filled with... They don't seem too aggressive. Maybe, I don't know. We're not going to try to fight them. We're just going to try to talk to them.
I suppose, as a courtesy, I should extend an appropriate greeting. On behalf of the Utwig proctors, I truly hope, for your sake, that your day has been better than ours. Although this really isn't saying that much.
So this is a completely new race that I have not talked to before. This is Captain Zelnick, representing the Concordance of Alien Nations. Please respond.
What good would that do? I mean, why should we? We agonized for hours, wondering if it was a cruel twist of fate, or simply a serious case of butterfingering. Ah, the lifetimes that have been spent in the pursuit of the elusive answer to this deceptively simple question has driven many of us down the dark road of self-destruction. Indeed, even as these words strike the ears of any who care to listen, the real question is, does it matter? I cannot say. I wallow in a quandary, unable to determine what better atones for my part in the great sin. Should I engage in slow and painful self-termination? Should I commit myself to a long life of painful self-flagellation? Should I throw myself with enthusiastic verve at the problem of collective annihilation? I do not know. Even my mind writhes in anguish of indecision, lest the outcome be inadequate.
Oh, they're a cheery bunch. I detect that recent events have not gone your way. Why don't you start at the beginning?
Alright, I'll try. But you know it really doesn't matter. After all, we have a famous Utwig saying, when one loses the reason for existence, one tends to get less motivated. This goes hand in hand with the painfully appropriate credo, we broke it, so we are paying for it. Of course, this isn't really accurate. The situation is so much more hideous. Imagine, if you can, holding within your hands the answer, only to have it haunt you with its former potential. Cruel irony. The loss of the Ur-quan grieves us all.
Oh, that cut off early there. Yes, of course, the Ur-quan, we grieve, how sad. Now, what was it again?
Bah, it doesn't matter. Besides being of no concern to you, I find discussion of this matter distasteful. The Ur-quan was not only the thing which assures total and complete meaning of life for you and I, it is universal. I'm sure that you too are aware of this thing, if only in legend. It granted us all limitless power and knowledge. It has been since, well, rendered inoperative.
Sniff, that reminds me of when my pet dog, Splib, ran in front of a rock chipper.
You are kind. If we could wield the Ur-quan to resurrect your Splib, we would. But I suddenly am overcome with waves of depression. I must retire now to perform rituals of anguish. Waves of trauma wash across my being even now. I must go.
Oh. Looks like he just ended the conversation. It's okay. We'll go ahead and talk to some more of them. There might be more conversation to be had. We want to
just go away. Leave us to ponder our grief.
Do you know anything about the enslaving Ur-quan?
We know nothing of this species that you mention. However, while we are on the subject of evil and powerful species, we have encountered a particularly gruesome race that seemed to come from the direction of Arcturus. When we hailed them, they responded with mighty weapons that sent our delegation to the depths. Lucky fools. The aliens' dark, crusty battleships are capable of guiding spinning mines into almost any location. And should an enemy get too close, a fiery corona emerges to inflict fearsome damage. In our skirmishes with the race, who called themselves the Ur-quan, we found that by using our own shielding capability, we could sweep through the mines, absorb the corona, and then get close enough to the dark ships to give a lick of our own. In truth, however, they are very powerful and ruthless. When the Ur-quan started to press toward our homeworld, we thought that our deserved punishment was being administered. But then a mystery. They suddenly became disinterested and veered away. Confounding frustration. With the Ur-quan, I could speak knowledgeably on this subject. To have this quality torn from our grasp emphasizes how meaningless our existence really is. This lack of meaning is what drives my species to the serious contemplation of a quick end.
Okay, well, we've met the Ur-quan before. They are jerks. Yes, that is really a pity. So what more do you know about the Ur-quan?
Your query once again painfully reminds me of the Ur-quan and what it was for the universe. I could tell you all, and correct all that is wrong in the universe. All I can tell you is that the Ur-quan live to kill. Their stated purpose is to seek out new life and new civilizations, and then annihilate them. We seem to qualify as such, and that is why it is puzzling that after pursuing us with some tenacity, they suddenly turned away and headed toward Quaterus. All of this speculation would be unnecessary if only we had saved the Ur-quan. It would not have taken much. A diving catch, a thrown pillow, even a fuzzy wampus would have broken the fall satisfactorily. Indeed, a panel convened to analyze the possibilities concluded that there were at least 623 ways the Ur-quan could have been saved, if we had been prepared. Let us cease our discussion concerning these matters.
Truly unique set of events puts you in your current state, am I right? Let's see if that's not repeated.
To say the least. Our past is one of a glorious and proud people coupled with a cataclysm that rocks the universe to its very core. It all began when a chimp rose from the murky bog and the Utwig emerged as well. In these primitive times, we cavorted about our world, oblivious to any sort of higher purpose. We took everything at face value. Meanwhile, the tendrils of the chimp infiltrated the vast sky canopies of Faz, and then the veils fell. Suddenly, the Utwig was stunned by a collective realization. All immediately and urgently donned veils of every description. Hides, leaves, shells, rocks, and even living drells were donned in the early days. You see, the face is the mechanism that expresses many of the primitive qualities that hinder sentience. Now rid of the constant reminders of greed, rage, hatred, and lust, the wisdom of the Utwig was no longer hampered by constant reminders of the primitive urge. Over many generations, mask etiquette was refined to a rock-solid foundation of our society. Sure, the morality riots were expensive, both in lives and in infrastructure. But the result was better mask regulation, specification from your basic mask of grueling but necessary activity to the most highly decorated countenance of stellar representation. These were clearly defined. Recognizing the importance of flexibility, clear-cut and efficient procedures for revision and redesign dealt with the few anomalies. From that moment when we covered the source of our intellectual oppression, we knew that it was a grand purpose that defined our destiny. Are you still listening? Our entire development as a sentient species was coordinated to coincide with the appearance of a remarkable device, the Ur-quan. We were oblivious to its tragic implication.
Yeah, how absolutely fascinating, but what exactly do you mean by tragic?
In order for you to truly understand the situation, you need to know more about the Ur-quan and its unique capabilities. You see, when the Druj discovered the Ur-quan, they knew that it was ours. The Druj were compelled by intrinsic, universal direction to take it to where it has always belonged. They brought it to us. Oh, the Ur-quan. It assured total and complete meaning of life for all. The universal, With the Ur-quan in hand, I could sense not only your motivations and desires, but your purpose. I could act upon these things in ways that would most likely seem mysterious, if not, well, daft. Years later, you would herald our participation in your development as the turning point for your species. The Druge were only one of the few to benefit in this way. Even now, they are puzzled by the way we rewarded them for the delivery of the Ur-quan to its correct place. In 24 years, 2 months, and 3 days, they will all dance the dance of jubilation. Indeed, the Ur-quan has allowed us to fundamentally change the Druge forever. The Supox too received many benefits from our use of the Ur-quan. They can testify to its power.
Oh. Sounds like things are going pretty well, so what happened? I don't know why it's going slow like
Yes, things were perfect. What happened is, well, it is difficult to talk about. But I saw it happen. I witnessed the Chinsral celebration. I felt the Ur-quan fill the empty place that I did not know was there. I saw the Grand Proctor pass it to, well, they say that the Chief Gru did not know that it was so heavy and slippery. Perhaps it was a combination of factors. Some who have reviewed the records claim that it was actually a conspiracy. The Commission investigation officially stated that the Ur-quan was rendered inoperative by the fall to the ground, yet many feel that the whole story has not yet been told. As it struck the ground, I saw its glow fade, and then the painful void incapacitated all. All Utwig immediately donned the mask of ultimate embarrassment and shame, with a vow to wear it forever. Bonfires all over Fars consumed all but this mask. No other mask was spared. The visage of ceremonial orations in all its contexts and revisions, as I'm sure you understand. All of the courting masks, from the clever and intriguing veil of flirtatious prancing to the infamous lewd monocle, all were consumed by the hungry flames. Even the most fundamental fixtures were committed to this irreversible fate. The mask of natural bodily excretions once hung in every lavatory. Most of the public facilities have removed the disposable mask dispensers, but every once in a while I still see such a repository, always empty. In despair, we gave the broken device to our allies, the Supox, who live at Beta Libre. We just couldn't stand to look at it any longer. At that time, many suggested that we use the precursor relic as a form of self-punishment. The proposal was that we collectively go to the second moon of the sixth planet of Zeta Hyades at coordinates 850.3, 937.2, and use the ancient planetarian device to end our existence. After much discussion, we decided that we deserved to suffer. We can use the bomb if we ever decide the time is right. In the meantime, we atone for our grievous mistake with our collective misery. I suddenly sink into a chasm of depression. I must go.
Okay, so the voice and the text did not match there.
As do we. Go now, with neither malice nor joy.
Oh, so you told us where to go. I didn't write that down or anything, but I don't know why there's such a delay with these guys in particular. I'm gonna check one more time. Oops. To make sure they don't have anything interesting to say. I don't think they will. I think we're just about done. And then after we check that, we'll go ahead and call this a video.
Just go away. Leave us.
Yeah, we've heard that. Okay. So they're not going to say anything more. I guess what we'll do now is I thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you next time. Later, folks.